Hello, Adam Rayner, Talk Audio TV with Mr. Chris Bennett. Now, this is a terribly exciting new piece of kit from JL Audio, and as much as it's their very first ever active enclosures.
Yep.
The thing is, these are the offspring of, well, it was originally called Microsub. Chris sat me in a box and said, sat me in a box? Oh, God, I'm a bit jet lagged. Chris sat me in his car and said, how big's the box? It was this bloody box that got me. I'm going, oh yeah, that's a trick question. That'll be a 10-inch subwoofer pretending to be a 12. And he goes, yeah, it's an 8.
Yep.
Small enclosures, small speakers, absurd output spawned these. So what exactly is this? Tell me about this, because there's this label on the end here. This is called Power WEDGE Plus.
Yep. This
is the ACS110LG-TW1. So TW1 speaker in here, like the one we looked at in another video?
Yep, like I said in the other video, this is basically it. This is the optimum enclosure for a 10 TW1 driver. Do you remember I was using the universal measuring device, the iPhone 6 here?
Yeah,
to show you the actual depth of the box. If we take the iPhone 6, see where the grill is, it's pretty much where an iPhone 6 will fit. That's where this baby's going to go.
Right.
Really cool. Now, what's great about this is that the performance we've had off the Microsub enclosures, the little 6-ported, the little 8, the CP108, the double 8, the TW1 family, the power wedges, they're all getting smaller and smaller, which means you can open up to many more applications where you can fit good bass in not a lot of space. Okay, but the beauty of this product is that, and in the new Microsub range, anything with a plus on it means it's got a built-in amplifier. What's great about it, Adam, and this is going to shock you, is that little CP108 has an amplifier perfectly matched for that driver, and it hasn't changed the size of the enclosure. It's just flushed into the end, like you see on this one here. So how have they done that? Well, Adam, if you just zoom in a second so everybody can see how small this little amplifier is on here. Basically, the amplifiers are employed a new DCD technology, which is direct conversion class D. And this is to gain maximum output from its extremely efficient low impedance driver.
Gotcha. So what is the impedance of the driver like?
Okay, well the impedance of the driver is actually less than an ohm. In the TW1 you have here, the impedance is actually a quarter of an ohm.
0.25.
A quarter. On the AW3 product it's actually half an ohm. And the way it's been matched, or the way it works, is that the direct power conversion from the high output current section, DCD amplifiers, are free from conventional switching power supplies, which is why this is so small. What it means is that it will generate huge power with maximum efficiency. And just to shock you, this amplifier here is 94% efficient. The most efficient
an order of
amplifier
magnitude
on the market by a mile.
That's absurd.
So power supplies, as you know, they can hurt efficiency. You need a bigger heat sink. That's where the space issues start to come. You need to get cooling. Well, these will run extremely efficiently and very cool. A comparatively low voltage will drive the speaker. A comparatively low driver would not give a lot of power from a normal sort of 4 ohm driver. The custom engineered low impedance drivers were designed to extract anywhere between 250 and 500 watts RMS from these amplifiers.
Whoa.
This particular amplifier on the end here, this is a 400 watt amplifier.
That's insane. So that little tiny heatsink, that's a thick end of half a kilowatt.
Yep, it's incredible efficiently with tons of quality and performance. And I do stress that. Low heat in a very compact form factor. So in summary, the DCD amplifier technology is 94% efficient, impressive power with minimal current draw and heat. And one of the things I'd just like to highlight on it, what I really love about this product, and this is real testament again to the engineering team at JL Audio, they make their products real world for car audio. One of the things I really like is sometimes if you've got not a lot of space to put an enclosure, you might have a small boot. You might want to, if you want a full use of boot, want to remove the product so you can use everything. You just have a quick safe release that's perfectly isolated for the power earth and remote connection, so this can be pulled off and just left loose in the boot. You would obviously have your power wires connected here. You pull the RCA cables out and away you go.
That's tremendous.
And when you want to, come back again and plug it all back in, it's real simple. You just pop it back in there and you're up and running again. There's another thing I will point out just here. All of the active enclosures come with a port that will take a thing called an RBC1, which is a little bass controller knob, and effectively that will plug in here, which means that you can conveniently mount that, what is effectively a volume pot, to control your bass anywhere up the front of the car. I highly recommend that you use this feature. I love bass, but I also love to be able to have control of it depending on what mood I'm in or what kind of music I'm listening to. Up here we have all the crossover settings. It's easy to set up your crossover point. We can set the gains and all of those kind of things. And that's kind of it really. It's basically a properly matched JL audio enclosure with amplifier. And in most cases, if you bought an amplifier separate, you would have to site that amplifier somewhere else in the vehicle, which means more cable, more installation costs. It will take up more space. You don't have the flexibility of being able to remove it with a product like this. And I really am excited to see how this family of micro subwoofers grows. At the moment, currently, we have a single 8, that one that you experienced with a built-in amplifier. We have a double 8, we have a single 10, sealed or as a ported option, and in 12, but there's going to be double 10 versions of these coming out, and I'm sure we're going to see many more active enclosures coming from JL using this incredible DCD amplifier which basically gives 94% efficiency.
Yes, I'm smiling away here because we're referring to a 12-inch active subwoofer in the range as a micro sub as well. The whole point being that 12 is going to, well, I'm a reviewer, I'm supposed not to be prejudging anything, but if it does what that 8 did, it'll sound like a running 15.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check some of these out for myself. Chris, thanks ever so much. These look really desirable and tremendously easy to apply. So there we go, new WEDGE Plus. Well, in typical Rainer fashion, having said a big luxuriant goodbye, there's something we absolutely missed. Chris has just noticed that these are the exact same bits of woodwork for the sealed 10-inch, which is 50 quid more, and the ported 8. Now, it's not so easy to see on camera, so I'm going to shove a thingy up here. See, there's a big port here. The ported one, the 8 sticks out a bit further. We can show you that sticks out a little tiny bit further by putting this.
So what we were talking about with the difference between the way the driver's constructed is that the cone's down below inside the frame. So when you allow for clearance and as you're passing your iPhone through underneath, you can see there's a gap there. So that little, I would say, what is that, half an inch, something like that, maybe a bit more.
Sticks out a tiny bit more.
Basically, that clearance may just be enough for you to get it somewhere where you won't be able to.
Yes.
So in terms of sound, why would you have a ported 8? I know everybody's thinking that against a 10. The difference between the two is around about 50 quid, so it's kind of negligible really. But I think the most important thing to stress is that acoustically in a vehicle, if you have a port and if you have to have this rammed up into a corner, this actually may work really well.
Acoustic loading.
So it may actually be more beneficial to use the 8 in the ported application against the 10.
More bass from the 8.
Absolutely. Wow. But however, in terms of where you may want to sight the driver, if you have the 10 sighted in a certain position in the vehicle, this could well perform better than the 8 in that application. So what it does, it just gives a little bit of flexibility. Like I always say with everything, just trust your ears. And what we actually tend to do, even when we are deciding where to place subwoofers in vehicles, before you custom fabricate something in, if you were doing like a fabricated subwoofer, I see guys that go flying in because they think it's going to look good there and it sounds awful. The great thing with these products is you can use them as a beta product to just test. If I put the bass there, is it going to sound any good? It's like, whoa, no, we've got no bass, move it the other side of the vehicle, we've got loads of bass. So they're great for that as well. But there's a great little comparison there that we just spotted, exactly the same size enclosure, but one is just ported with an 8, the other one is a still 10.
Exactly the same enclosure, but what it says about JL Audio, their understanding of sound quality, ported versus, these are not just Me Too products. That man shows a bloody genius. Clever fella. Thank you, Chris.
Cool, thank you.